Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ranjit Nimbalkar. I am here to explain you what Ayush can do for you. I am MD and PhD in Ayurveda and practicing in Pune. How are you all? Fine? Doing well at your homes? And how is COVID in your areas? Is it regressing? Yes, regressing. Everywhere it is regressing, coming up again, very much fluctuating. But still, even though it is regressing, it is not the end, it is only a break. So, we need to continue to take our all care, which we know, that is mask, social distance, hand sanitization and all those things. In addition to that, for our protection, Ayush is also offering a lot of help to you all. Okay. So, what is Ayush? That is the main concern. Many times we hear that Ayush is doing this, Ayush ministry, this, that. But what is Ayush? Actually, Ayush is a separate ministry for many indigenous medical systems. Actually, they are not medical systems, they are life sciences in themselves. So, it is a short form AYUSH, in which A stands for Ayurveda, Y stands for Yoga, U for Unani, S for Siddha and H for homeopathy. So, it is a short form. As we already said, these are not only medical sciences or medical pathies, but they are much more than that. They are life sciences, because they deal with your life, whole life or life as a whole, we can say, and overall health through mainly diet and lifestyle, along with some simple drugs if as and when needed. Again, those drugs are totally free of side effects. So, these are all the peculiarities of all these Ayush systems of medicine. In all these systems, they consider as a holistic approach. So, holistic approach is the hallmark of all these Ayush systems of medicine. Now, once we know that what is Ayush, now the second question, there are 6 WH questions as we all know. This why Ayush, why is the second question. This is very obvious question, because we know that we are taking lot of precautions in today's world, like there is mask, hand sanitization, social distance, this, that, vitamin C, vitamin D, vaccine, all or many protections are already available. Then why Ayush again in that all this crowd, why Ayush has to intervene, or what is its exact role, that also we need to know properly. Now, what happens is, all these, just go through this Swiss cheese model presentation or metaphor. You can see that every cheese slice has some holes in it. Similarly, all these systems or preventive measures, they are not foolproof. None of them gives you 100% protection. Neither the mask, it will give you around 90 to 95%, hand sanitization same way. You cannot wash your hands every now and then, but they are still touching everywhere. Then social distance, again it may not be possible sometimes, or again it is not 100% foolproof. Vaccines, we know they are also not giving you 100% protection. So, you need to have as much layers of protection on yourself as you can. So, this Ayush can be used as a additional weapon or additional curtain to keep you away from COVID virus. One more thing is that if you want to protect yourself from virus, then you have to take 2 important measures. First is, you need to keep away from the virus, so that the virus does not enter your body, or even if the virus enters your body, the body should be able to take care of it. So, this hand sanitization mask, they are helping you to keep yourself away from the virus, whereas the vaccine as well as Ayush, they will help you to combat with the virus if unfortunately it enters into your body. So, Ayush, as I think you must have now come to know that why we need an addition of Ayush in all our protective measures. Now, what we already said that Ayush are all life sciences. So, they deal with diet and lifestyle. We have now seen that we need good immunity to combat with the virus. Now what happens is immunity has to be earned. We know that health is wealth. Wealth we have to earn. You cannot get it directly. Very few lucky people are there, they may get from their ancestors, but most of the times we have to work hard and earn our wealth. Similarly, health is to be also earned, and we know health is nothing but immunity. Good health is good immunity is good health. So for that we have to change ourselves or our lifestyle and diet habits to some extent. What are they? They are not very difficult or not like a rocket science. Very simple measures. What are they? Get up early in the morning. We know early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy and wise. Then have some exercise in the morning time, maybe for 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever exercise you want. Then have foods at regular intervals on time to time with some discipline. Then the food should be not very much overcooked or complexly processed, simply prepared and well cooked food. And lastly, go to bed as early as possible, maybe like 9:30, 10, 10:30, like that. Don't just unnecessarily keep awake in the late nights. So this is that simple, but we think that all these things are very much difficult, and because of that we are not able to use them or practice them in our daily lives. So now COVID is teaching us to go back to our healthy lifestyle procedures which we used to practice around 100 years ago. So in short, we have seen what are those 5 simple measures, but now we will go a little bit deeper to understand it in a better way. What are those good habits to maintain your immunity or boost your immunity? So first one is drink lukewarm water frequently or intermittently. What happens is lukewarm water helps to keep your pharynx and upper tract clean, because it melts or liquefies the mucus which is saturated there, and so that when it is drained, then there cannot be any growth of pathogens in that, and you will keep away yourself from the infections. Then spices like haldi or turmeric, then jeera, that is cumin, dhania, coriander, shunt or dry ginger and lasun are recommended in cooking. We are normally using all these spices in our Indian diet. We are well habitual to them, but again we have to understand or remember that we should not be boiling it to very high temperatures, because they are all medicinal and they have volatile oils or alkaloids in them, and they will be evaporated if they are boiled very much. So there will be again no use of that. That thing is to be kept in mind. Turmeric is a queen of all these spices, as we all know. It removes mucus, regulates digestion, purifies blood, and very good antiseptic too. This medicinal value has been accepted all over the world by now. Then next one is consumption of fresh amla fruit, which is called as Indian gooseberry, or if fresh amla is not available, then you can use amla products, because fresh amla is available only in the winter season, November, December, January, like that. So it is again a gift of India to entire world. It is rich in antioxidants, especially vitamin C, which clean up our body from within. Then it is not a puzzle that this is included in most of the rejuvenating medicines which are mentioned in Ayurveda. All the rejuvenation medicines are called as Rasayana medicines, and more than 80% of Rasayana medicines of Ayurveda contain amla. Chyawanprash is the world famous example, we all know Chyawanprash. It is also rich in amla, so indirectly it is rich in vitamin C. Then gargling with warm water, same thing, warm water will clarify the mucus, but you can add a pinch of turmeric and pinch of salt in that before gargling. Common salt also works as an antiseptic just because of its salinity or salty taste. Gargling along with antiseptic turmeric helps to clear our throat from many microbes. Then food should be freshly prepared and easily digestible. Food is the main foundation of our health. What we eat, we become in that manner. So, as the food will get stale due to its continuous process of decay, many unwanted, harmful, toxic components will start building into it. So, it is always advisable to eat fresh food. Food rich in nutrition value is also advisable, that is high protein and less carbohydrate type of food. At the same time, it should be easy for digestion, and Ayurveda has mentioned many etiquettes for eating food too. Just for example, while eating, all your concentration should be towards food. Many times we see on one hand we are watching TV or mobile and we are having our food, is not actually recommended. After food, another important thing is exercise. You should have at least 30 minutes of yogasana, as Ministry of Ayush has already recommended. Now, the speciality of yogasanas in addition to all other exercises is that these are the exercises for soft organs like lung, liver or heart, kidneys, then pancreas, in females uterus and ovaries. So, yogasanas take care of all these soft organs. So, if they are healthy, then automatically your health will also be good. So, yogasanas are more potent for your overall health as compared to weight training or all other thing. We does not mean that they are inferior or of low quality, but you should add or you must add, we can say, some yogasanas every day in your exercise schedule. In addition to yogasana, pranayam is also one more important exercise advised by Yoga Shastra. It is especially good for your lungs. It maintains your elasticity of your lungs, and the recoil property of these lungs is maintained, so that whatever foreign bodies are going inside will be expelled off very nicely. It is also very good exercise for heart. So, pranayam is especially good for heart and lung anatomically, and at the same time you meditate. It's pranayam is a meditation, and meditation is good for your health of brain. So, pranayam takes care of your heart, lung and brain, which are the most important organs of your body. Then take adequate sleep. Sleep is also very important thing to restore your health. When you use your mobile battery, the mobile phone, the batteries get exhausted after some time. Then you have to charge them again to attach it to a charger, and you need to charge your battery. Similarly, sleep is like a charger, and it will charge all your body slowly. So, good rest for not only for body, but sleep is very important for your brain as well. Now, these are the general measures. You can see we have discussed already, but it is in the Ayush format. Now, in addition to these, we can have some few medicines which can be taken regularly to boost your health. But you always remember that following all these good habits is more important, that will make a foundation of your immunity, and then these medicines will help to increase that. So, Chyawanprash we have already seen, which is rich in gooseberry, Indian gooseberry fruit or amla. But one more thing we need to keep in mind, that Chyawanprash contains a lot of sugar, so it will increase your weight. So, when you want to eat Chyawanprash, then exercising is mandatory. In addition, if a person is diabetic or pre-diabetic, then it will be a problem for such person. Then you can try some other form of amla to consume, or some companies are advising some type of sugar free Chyawanprash. You can try that as well. Then you can have some herbal tea or a herbal kadha made up of tulsi, dalchini, kali mirch, shunthi and manuka once or twice a day. But again we need to keep in mind that before taking all or before consuming all these type of medicines, you must visit your doctor of that fraternity. In now this case, you must meet some Ayurveda doctor to go through, he will go through your Prakriti constitution and he will advise the proportion of these medicines which is most suitable for you. It has been observed that if you continue all these medicines blindly, then they can cause some trouble for your overall health. So, do not do it directly on your own, that is our advice. One more addition thing you can take is a turmeric milk, or called as golden milk or simply turmeric latte. This turmeric we have already seen all the properties of turmeric. So, 1 teaspoon of turmeric and 1 cup of milk together you can have once or twice a day, warm as possible, and again sugar should not be there, or if you are very much fond of sugar, then as little sugar as possible. Desi cow milk is much more preferable for this type of combination. In Western countries it is very much famous nowadays by the name turmeric latte, and people are spending dollars to take that. This is freely available in India, so we must take its good benefits. So, after all this internal medicine, there are some simple procedures that can be used to keep your health good. So, first one is application of sesame oil or coconut oil into the nostrils. You can just apply this oil in your nostril, or you can put 1 or 2 drops of oils in your nostrils, especially before going out. What happens is these oils help to keep the nasal passage more moist, and so that whatever things are entering your nose can be arrested very nicely. Actually, God has made this structure of nose very much complicated, and it is very difficult for any foreign body to enter your lungs through your nose. But now this COVID virus is a new threat. So, we want to potentize that all protection system and your nasal area, so that this oil application will help to arrest the foreign bodies. Similarly, another entry point for this COVID virus in addition to nose is mouth. So, oil pulling therapy, you can have 10 to 15 ml of coconut or groundnut oil in your mouth. You can just keep it in your mouth, gargle for some time and throw it away after 10 to 15 minutes. You are especially supposed to do it before going outdoors, because when you are going outdoors, then there is a more risk of exposure to the virus or all other pathogens, not only COVID virus, but even all other pathogens. So, to trap them, you have to potentize your security systems which are at the entry gates, nose and mouth. So, these are simple Ayurvedic procedures which can be done for prevention, and gargling with salt water and turmeric is to be done after coming back. So, even after that, if something has entered, you have to get rid of that. That is a simple thing to remember. Then there are some home remedies for dry cough and sore throat. First is steam inhalation with pudina leaves and ajwain, can be used once or twice a day. Then again steam will help to liquefy the mucus, and the medicines inside that will help it to more extent. Then lavang powder or clove powder mixed with natural sugar or honey can be taken 2-3 times a day. Now, these measures generally help to take care of your sore throat, but please remember that if these symptoms persist or if they are increasing, please do not wait at all, and do not waste a single minute, and visit your doctor as earliest as possible. It is observed that in second or first wave, those people who wasted their time to visit their doctor, the COVID has hit them very badly. So, please take this care, do not waste much time. These are only primary medicines. You can try it for at the most 4, 5, 6 hours, and if the condition does not improve, please visit your doctor. Now, in addition to preventive measures which we have seen already, there are few more to discuss. First one is a fluid boiled with some medicinal herbs like shunthi, dalchini, trikatu, which contains pippali, again can be used to drink as a regular water. Means you can have 1 teaspoonful of all these powders together, boiled in 1 liter of water, and let it cool down, then filter it and use that water to drink intermittently for whole day. So, you can have that. Then good simple diet we have already discussed. Some other additional things you can practice is have guduchi or giloy. Everybody is nowadays aware of this gulwel or giloy or guduchi. Its Latin name is Tynospora cordifolia. It is a wonderful immunomodulator and it helps to improve your immunity. So, you can have at least 500 to 1000 milligram of this gulwel every day. Then amla consumption we have already seen. Turmeric powder with milk is also we have already discussed. Then tulsi water, frequent sipping of tulsi water you can have. You can add ashwagandha root powder 3 to 5 grams into that, or licorice or yashti madhu we call it, or mulethi in Hindi we can add to that. Then dhupana or fumigation of a house every evening with antimicrobials such as neem leaf, sarshapa, then karpura, ghee, etc. You can use cow dung for making this dhupa or fume instead of coal. So, all these practices can be used to keep yourself away from COVID. So, this is all what Ayurveda has to offer to you. So, we are slightly changing the sequence of Ayush, and after Ayurveda we are directly first jumping to homeopathy. There are few reasons behind it. Homeopathy medicines are very simple to consume, very much easily palatable, and that is why people love homeopathy a lot. So, there are few simple medicines in homeopathy for your cough and fever, sore throat, like that. The commonest medicine which is advised is Natrum muriaticum, which has to be taken in that homeopathic way, 20 ml of 30% alcohol. Then 1 drop to be taken orally every 4 hours, means 6 times a day initially till the fever and sore throat are there, and once they are subsided, then again you have to continue the same medicine for more days, up to 14 days in a dose of 6 hourly, that is 4 times a day. But again we have to understand that this is again a primitive treatment, your body does not respond in time, then again please do not waste time in visiting your doctor. For prevention of COVID or COVID-19 virus infection, homeopathy has a lot to offer for us. The Scientific Advisory Board of Central Council for Research in Homeopathy, that is CCRH, has improved or revised the previous advisory on the use of Arsenicum album 30C as an immune booster for prophylaxis, that is prevention against COVID-19 infection. However, keeping in mind the high transmission rate in the second wave as we have all observed, and the possible airborne spread and results of the prophylactic studies which were done in this first wave, the repetition of regimen may be done after 21 days instead of 30 days as it was advised in the first wave or previously. The recommended dose of Arsenicum album is 30 C potency, 4 globules of size, 30 and once daily in the morning, preferably empty stomach for 3 days, and it has to be again repeated in the same manner after 3 weeks, that is 21 days, which was 4 weeks previously or 28 to 30 days. The management guidelines for home isolated COVID-19 patients are as follows. The COVID-19 infected cases are asymptomatic or symptomatic. The symptomatic cases are classified as mild, moderate, severe or critical according to the presentation. Along with homeopathy, we consider naturopathy, though there is no N in Ayush, but we consider homeopathy and naturopathy together. The basic understanding of naturopathy, as the name suggests, is go natural. So, good nutrition boosts immunity is the basic understanding of naturopathy. They also believe feed a cold and starve a fever. So, whenever there is a patient of fever, then he should not eat any food as much as possible, or very simple or liquid diet as much as possible. So, that is the basic recommendation of naturopathy. Then food rich in protein, glucose, vitamin C and vitamin D is to be consumed. Again, good sleep is a important recommendation of naturopathy, as Ayurveda and homeopathy has already mentioned. The do's and don'ts of nutrition are outlined as under. Now, first thing we will go through what to have. Drink plenty of warm water, as we have already seen in Ayurveda part as well. Lemon or fresh citrus juices with honey or jaggery. As we know, all these citrus fruits are rich in vitamin C. Add spices in your daily food, which are commonly used in our Indian diet, is jeera, turmeric, ajwain, cinnamon, cloves or cardamom, etc. Again, we have already seen that all these spices should not be boiled to a very high temperatures, else all the volatile oils which are medicinal in all these spices, they will get evaporated and it will be of no use then. Then prepare foods which are low in oils and fats, that is the important suggestion from naturopathy for our health. Always oil is as less as possible is always indicated. A general rule for any person, the quantity of oil to be consumed per month is per adult per month he or she should consume maximum half liter of oil. So, if it is a family of 4 people, then per month 2 liter oil is more than sufficient. So, please try to bring your oil use as less as possible. So, the foods which are low in oils and fats like dalia, idli, khichdi are more indicated, and deep fried foods should be better avoided. Then have a balanced diet, we have already talked about it. It should contain all the nutrition factors like proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, etc. in their own proportion. Protein should be as much higher as possible, followed by carbohydrates, then least fats and sufficient quantity of vitamins and minerals. So, in this way food should be very much balanced. Then, as we already said, protein rich diet, that is dal, khichdi or boiled legumes. Again, if we merge Ayurveda knowledge with this naturopathy, all the legumes are very much protein rich, but again from Ayurveda perspective, moong dal or green grams is the best indicated, and tuvar dal or arhar we call it in routine Hindi, vernacular Hindi, or chana or besan, they are better to be avoided because they are again somewhat allergens. So, moong dal and masoor dal should be consumed as much as possible. Then have plenty of colored fruits and vegetables. So, your dish should be very much colorful, it should be having red tomatoes, then green leafy vegetables, then some white apples, like it should be a combo of many types of colors. Then we can say yellow mangoes in the season of mangoes, like that, black grapes, red strawberries, like that. So, it should be a combination of many colors, which is good for your eyes and good for your health as well. Then the most important thing to remember is wash them thoroughly, have boiled vegetables as curry or sambar, consumed alkaline rich foods. Then have zinc and selenium rich food, that is one more important suggestion from naturopathy. The food origins are like oats, spinach, beans, milk, cheese, pumpkin seeds, cashews, etc. are rich in zinc and selenium. Drink at least 1 glass of yogurt for a probiotic purpose to improve gut flora. We know that for curdling of milk, there are special bacteria, they are called as lactobacillus, which convert milk into curds or buttermilk. So, the same bacteria are important for our digestion process as well. So, they are called as probiotics. So, that is a need and that can be fulfilled by consuming 1 glass of yogurt, that is buttermilk. Again from Ayurveda perspective, curd should be avoided, but buttermilk is very much recommended. So, we will advise buttermilk in such conditions, and these things are to be followed or consumed on priority basis. And what is to be avoided? So, avoid cold beverages, canned juices and aerated drinks, coffee, this we all know, but we fail to practice all these recommendations in routine life, but now in COVID epidemic days at least we should be able to follow these. Then avoid refined sugars or much processed sugars, then avoid confectionery and bakery products. In case of sugars, jaggery as well, we always want very good looking and fair type of jaggery, but always remember that for that purification process lots of chemicals have been used on that. So, all this chemical processing makes such jaggery harmful. So, the jaggery should not be very much beautiful in its look. So, that is good for health. So, blackish colored jaggery should be preferred. Then avoid confectionery and bakery products. Again, they mainly contain maida, which is a very sticky portion, and it is very much difficult for our digestion. Again, it contains a lots of preservatives. There are many chemicals and treated. This is the second thing. Thirdly, many times they are pre-cooked. They are prepared 3, 4, 5, 6 days ago, like toast or butter of that bakery type and cream rolls type of things. So, they are prepared very 7, 8 days ago and we are consuming them. So, they are not that fresh. So, that is one more reason that why they should be avoided. Again, avoid sweets, chocolates, ice creams like that. They again contain lot of preservatives, lot of sugar, lot of bland calories, and you should be avoiding that. Avoid snacking on oily and junk foods. Again, junk food we all know the literal meaning of junk. Just go to Google and ask what is the meaning of junk. So, junk, the meaning of junk is garbage. So, you are putting all the garbage inside your body just for the mere happiness of your tongue. So, you should not listen to your tongue every time, listen to your whole body. Tongue is only 2 inches long and your body is 5 to 6 feet long. So, you need to know whom to follow. Either the body is your owner and tongue is a servant. So, whether to follow servant or your owner is in your hands. So, please avoid all those oily things and junk foods. They again contain lots of useless calories in them. Also, many chemicals used in them are carcinogenic. So, better to avoid them. Reduce salt intake. Take as little salt as possible. We have talked a lot about this salt in previous chapter. Then reduce amount of trans and omega 6 fatty acid in the diet, that is vegetable oils. We have already told what should be the quantity of diet of any adult per month. It is half a liter. So, that is okay, but it should not go beyond that. Then food in eateries, it should again be avoided because there are many sanitation issues and the quality of raw food which is used for preparation may not be of that quality just for a sake of cost cutting. So, it can be very much injurious to your health. So, as far as possible avoid food in eateries. Again, smoking and alcohol, we all know smoking and alcohol should not be taken. We tell each other, but again we smoke and go to alcohol. So, that type of our mental weakness again we need to conquer and we need to keep ourselves away from all these toxic habits. Now, let us come to Unani medicine. Now, this Unani medicine is again recognizes the influence of surroundings and ecological conditions in the state of our human beings. Apart from treating diseases and conditions, Unani medicine gives emphasis on prevention of disease and promotion of health. Now, to achieve palatability, stability, absorption and assimilability to enhance the efficacy of drug is the basic understanding of Unani system of medicine or USM. In Unani medicine, there are many types of drugs used in mainly 4 forms: solid forms like pills, tablets, etc. Then semi-solids like majun, jawarish and khamira, lok, etc. Liquid form, decoction, infusion, ark, syrup, etc. And gaseous form like bakhur, like fumigation or in kebab or steam inhalation in this form. suppositories like pessary, liniment, they are also used in Unani system of medicine. One more peculiarity of Unani system of medicine is a special medicine for elderly people who have compromised immunity. They are called as Abdani Zafa, that is weaker bodies. In COVID also we have seen that the senior people or elderly people, they are more at risk of COVID as compared to youngsters. So, there are additional recommendations for such people. So, what are the special guidelines for them? The diet should be in accordance with their mizaj or temperament, which is same advised in Ayurveda. In Ayurveda it is called as Prakruti or temperament. Then nutritive and easily digestible diet should be taken. Frequent meals in small quantity. This is also one important recommendation from Unani system of medicine. You should have small meals in divided doses. Avoid drinking of cold water. On the contrary, you should have lukewarm water to drink. Then maintain good bowel habits. This is very important. This is also mentioned by Ayurveda. Maintain adequate sleep. Again, good rest we have already seen. Perform moderate exercises. So, you can observe that all these systems of medicines are telling you more or less the same thing. Take simple diet, take good rest, take good exercise, then small quantity of foods, warm water. So, all of them together are telling you the same thing. So, you may think that this is all repetition, everybody is saying the same thing, then what is the difference? We need to understand why they are telling, why they are all are telling you the same thing, because suppose if it is 4 p.m. in the clock and you ask 10 or 15 people, now whether it is a daytime or night time, so everybody will tell you that it is a daytime. Why? Because it is a daytime, it is a universal truth. So, all these sciences are telling you more or less the same thing. So, after Unani, let us move on to Siddha. Now, Siddha is also very peculiar system of medicine which is very similar to Ayurveda, but it is more popular in the southern of India, especially Tamil Nadu. So, more or less their recommendations are very much similar with Ayurveda. You can say both are twins in some way, very similar. So, what are their common advisories? We will just quickly go through. They are more or less similar with Ayurveda, so we do not waste much time on that. Drinking water, again herbal drinking water infusion made up of half teaspoon of chikku. Chukku means dried ginger in Tamil or in Siddha tradition. It has to be boiled in 2 liters of water, then let it cool, get it filtered, and you have to use it as drinking water. Or inji, inji means ginger, chukku was dry and inji is wet ginger, tea of that or decoction, or adhimaduram or licorice or yashti madhu or mulethi. It can be also taken as hot beverages in a decoction form. Previously it was water, room temperature, now it is hot decoction you can drink. Then avoid milk at bedtime, which is very advisable because it will create more mucus if milk taken at a night time. Also you can add some manjal or turmeric into it or tulsi for drinking milk, or even pepper or milagu. Then steam inhalation with tulsi leaves or manjal, turmeric we have already seen. Then gargling again with a pinch of salt and turmeric can be used for gargling maybe 2-3 times a day. All allergic foodstuffs should be avoided in the diet. This is very important and peculiar suggestion from Siddha medicine. What are those common allergic or allergens we call them, type of foodstuff? One is besan or chana dal and another one is fish. Both these are very much allergens and we should avoid as much as possible in your food. Then environmental sanitation, again dhupana we have seen in Ayurveda. Here they recommend neem leaves fumigation in the evening time in the households. So, now we come to the external therapies of Siddha medicine. The first and the foremost is Nirkovai Mathirai. Now in this, Nirkovai is a name of herb or tablet which is available in Siddha medicine, and Mathirai, the meaning of Mathirai is tablet. So these are ready-made pills available for external application. They are to be moistened in a hot water and applied over nose and forehead, especially for sinusitis, just like the liniments we apply when we get common cold. It gives good relief from headache and running nose and sneezing. Then fermentation of betel leaf over the chest also gives good relief from cough. So these are the two external applications which are recommended by a Siddha system of medicine for prevention of COVID or even treatment of COVID. But again we have to remember that self treatment should not be continued for very long durations, maybe only for 6, 7 or 8 hours, but even after that if the symptoms persist, then you have to contact immediately your treating doctor. No self treatments. Next one is Nasyam. Nasa means nose, and the medicine given through the nose is called as Nasyam in Ayurveda, in Siddha as well. So Thumbaipu or Tulsi leaf juice is for sore throat or nasal application. This Thumbai is a specific medicinal flower, and the juice of its petals is used as nasal drops for rhinitis. Tulsi leaf juice can also be used for sore throat and nasal obstruction in Nasya way. For that, the person has to lie down on the bed and the neck little bit tilted toward the sky or the roof, and then 2 or 3 drops of these liquids, maybe it is Thumbaipu or Tulsi leaf juice, is to be slowly administered 2 to 3 drops in both the nostrils one by one, and you have to keep in the same position for 1 or 2 minutes and is done. So this is a Nasya procedure. Next one is Pugai. Now Pugai means fumigation, as we have already seen Dhupana in Ayurveda. So this is Pugai in Siddha medicine. Kandan-Githiri Pugai. Kandan-Githiri is a plant from brinjal family, it is similar to brinjal. It has antiviral properties and especially useful for respiratory tract. So the fumigation of this plant gives very good preventive effect in the environment. Its fumigation is advised for prevention as well as treatment of all virus diseases of respiratory tract. You can make its fumes and inhale with nose and exhale with mouth. In that way it will be useful for treatment purpose, and you can just make its fumigation in your room or house. So it will be for a prevention of viral diseases. Similarly, Manjal Kombu Pugai. Now we know Manjal means turmeric and Kombu means twig. So the twig of turmeric is to be used for Dhupana, and again this Dhupana is also useful for rhinitis and nasal obstructions. Varmam is similar to Marma as explained in Ayurveda. These are all vital points all over the body, similar to acupuncture or acupressure points. So there are many Varma points which are recommended. Their stimulation is recommended for improvement of immunity, but this type of practice is to be done only by a trained Siddha practitioner. So we are not going into much details of that. This is just for your information. Now general hygiene and sanitation methods or measures in Siddha. The newer one is now Padigara Neer, means Padigara means alum. As we are using hand sanitizers or soaps, you can use this type of neer for hand wash. But nowadays this soap and sanitizer are already very much common, so you may continue with that. Turmeric water hand wash and leg wash, especially after coming from outside, is also recommended. Fumigation of house every evening we have already seen with neem leaves. Then stress management, this is also one important aspect explained by Siddha and which is very important. So for this stress management, especially for person under isolation or quarantine, yoga practices like Nadi Shuddhi Pranayam, which is similar to Anulom Vilom Pranayam, helps to increase the elasticity of bronchioles as well as rejuvenate the lung tissue. Then Surya Namaskar, Sarvasanam, Makarasan, Meenasanam, there are many yogasanas that you can practice which are good for your physical as well as mental and emotional health as well. So, this stress management is also emphasized by Siddha, which is extremely important. Now, what else we can do as from Siddha perspective? Coarse powder of coriander seeds with palm jaggery made as a decoction and to be taken in the morning time as a preventive measure. Then 500 milligram of powdered ashwagandha with milk or hot water 2 or 3 times a day. Then you can have a oil massage to your bodies at least twice a week. It is also good health enhancer. Then food which is very easily digestible and not highly processed is again we have seen many times. Then plenty of boiled water intake is allowed. Rasam, now this is being South Indian science, rasam is very traditionally consumed there. So, rasam with pepper and jeera is again a good medicine along with garlic. Then daily green smoothie to improve probiotics in the gut is also good for detoxification. As above, with diet with comorbidities like low glycemic index and low glycemic diet is very much important. In the simple words, carbohydrates should be restricted as much as possible and they should be converted by high protein diet. There are many products which are brands available in the market claiming immune boosting effect. So, any such medication can be started as per the advice of your doctor. Then lastly we come to yoga and pranayama. Already we have talked a lot about yoga and we know a lot about yoga. So, pranayama we have already seen, especially Bhasrika pranayama is very much advisable because it helps to clean the respiratory tract in the pranava srotas or the respiratory system. We are supposed to exhale air forcefully. Because of that there is expulsion of all the collection which is inside and it cleans up the respiratory tract. Then all other types of pranayama or Nadi Shuddhi pranayama is also very much advised. There are many asanas and even pranayama, they are to be again done under a supervision of some expert, and once he is convinced, he or she is convinced that now you are okay to do it on your own, you can practice that. There are many asanas, but at least you can try Surya Namaskar, which is the best comprehensive yogasana available for all. It offers almost all types of bends and twists to our body. Here we are supposed to follow a specific respiratory pattern as well. So, learn it from some good expert and practice it regularly. There is generally avartan of 12 or 13 Surya Namaskara in one avartan. So, at least you can start with 3-4 Surya Namaskaras and slowly reach to the one avartan and slowly you can increase as per your need. So, pranayam and Surya Namaskar done in a good supervision will help you a lot for your physical, mental, emotional, all type of health, which is the definition of health by World Health Organization. So, after all this information, let us try to summarize all these things which we have tried to learn in this complete video of almost 1 hour. So, there are general rules of prevention. First is prevention and second one is treatment. So, for prevention of COVID, what should be done from Ayush perspective and in general perspective, and for treatment of COVID, what should be done from Ayurveda perspective and general. So, we are going to summarize that slowly. So, first few things we already know, but again I am telling you just for emphasizing it. First one is stay home as much as possible. If there is a very much urgency, then only try to go out of your home, otherwise stay home, stay safe is the first message. Another one is mask, always wear a mask on your face. Again many people have this wrong idea in their minds that they cover their chins very promptly and very nicely, and they think that this virus has come from China or China. So, chin is to be covered and not nose and your mouth. So, always please remember the mask should be from your bridge of your nose, it should cover all these things, there should not be any gap. So, many masks they have some hard line over there and you have to just fix it on your nose, and it should cover your nose completely, your mouth completely, and also some part of your chin, that is very important. Sometimes while talking people get that mask down and again put it up. So, it is again of no use. What happens is all those virus are there in your saliva and your nasal secretions also, and this is a airborne infection, but still it is a droplet type of infection. The virus remains in those drops, it cannot fly in the air on its own. So, whenever you are talking all these small droplets are coming out of your mouth, and this mask is to catch them or trap them there itself, so that all these droplets do not spread in the atmosphere. So, especially while talking the mask must be on your mouth, that you should always remember. Then social distance, at least 6 feet of distance should be there, because all whatever secretions are coming or getting expelled from your mouth and nose, they cannot travel beyond those distances. So, for that avoid crowded places and try to maintain distance of 6 feet, especially in a closed room. Again, do not go in a very closed room, especially air conditioned rooms in a crowded atmosphere. No, room should be very well ventilated, so that the virus does not remain or linger in your rooms. Then prefer well ventilated surrounding. We have already seen, if it is a open air, most welcome, but it is a closed room, the window should be very well open. Even in cars, the cars also window should be down. Then this is a general information we all know. Now, let us come to Ayush speciality. All the sciences have told you the same thing. What is that? Get up early, then have some light exercises, may it be yoga or some aerobic or combination of them, then meditation and pranayam. Then nutritional breakfast, which is not very hard to digest, very light to digest, but still it has good nutritive properties, like dal, moong and masoor dal we have already seen, then dalia is there, semolina you can have in your breakfast. Then moderate lunch should be there, no overeating. Afterwards do not sleep, even if you are staying at home, again you have to avoid sleep. This is very difficult job whenever you are at home, then again sleep comes automatically, but you have to avoid it deliberately. Then early dinner, and which is again very light for digestion, is one more important thing to follow. There are few traditions which recommend dinner before sunset. So, that is the most ideal, but even if it is not possible for you, 7, 7:30, 8 or at the most 8:30 should be the time where your dinner should be finished, not starting, and you should go to bed around 2 hours after your dinner. So, say 10:30 should be the high time for going to bed, and 8:30 should be the high time to finish your dinner. Suitable remedies to improve your immunity from any of the system of Ayush. It is not the thing that you have to take all Ayurveda, Yoga, Yuddha, Unani, Siddha, all medicines you are taking. No, Yoga always there, you have to take that. But after remaining Ayush, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, homeopathy, you can take any one or at the most 2. It is not the case that you have to take all 5 together, that you have to remember again. Then in external treatments, Nasya is the same thing suggested by Ayurveda as well as Siddha. So, you can use that. Oil pulling is there or gargling is there. Steam is also suggested by Ayurveda and Siddha. So, that you can take of any appropriate medicine with the advice of your doctor. Then use of amla, guduchi, turmeric, they can be practiced. They are very low risk, but still it is better to take a suggestion from your doctor. Then fumigation of your homes with appropriate herbs is also recommended. So, all these things you can practice for prevention, and for treatment part early diagnosis is the most important thing. So, do not wait to get yourself diagnosed, do not be afraid of doing that RT-PCR test or the rapid antigen test RAT. So, whatever is recommended to you, please get it done, do not waste time in that. Visit your doctor immediately, no delay in treatment. Then in addition to that treatment, with knowledge of your doctor, you can take some additional treatments from Ayush perspective, which we have talked already. So, accordingly you can practice. Again, remain isolated for a complete span. Even if you are asymptomatic now on say day 4th or day 5, then do not start immediately going out or mixing with people. Give totally 14, 15, 18 days, whatever the latest guideline is telling you. So, please remain at home isolated or quarantined, so that you do not spread the infection, you do not prove as a super spreader. And fumigation of your room in which you are being isolated, it should also be done regularly. So, all these measures, please make a good use of that, good sensible use of that, and stay healthy and stay happy. So, by here I thank you for all your patient listening, and all these Ayush systems are there to help you. I sincerely wish that you incorporate all these things or as much as these things we have learnt now in your day to day life and lead to a healthy COVID free life. Thank you very much.